All right, guys. So this is probably my second favorite moment of the debate and my first favorite actual policy exchange during the debate, in which President Trump and Joe Biden were talking about criminal justice reform during the race segment of the debate. Now, this is my favorite moment because President Trump broke down Joe Biden and made him tap out. And I loved every second of watching quid pro quo Joe squirm and scream for help as he knew that he could not defend his record on this. And I'm so glad President Trump hit him on this. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a liberal's worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. So watch this exchange between President Trump and Joe Biden in regards to criminal justice reform.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. He pours fuel on every single racist fire. Every single one. Started off his campaign coming down the escalator saying he's going to get rid of those Mexican rapists. He's banned Muslims because they're Muslims. He has moved around and made everything worse across the board. He says about the poor boys, last time we were on stage here, he said, I told them to stand down and stand ready.
He made a reference to Abraham Lincoln. Where did that come in? I mean,
you said you're Abraham Lincoln.
No, where did that? No.
You said,
I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community.
And I'm saying,
I didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community. Now, you have done nothing other than the crime bill, which put
oh God,
tens of thousands of black men, mostly, in jail.
All right, let me
They
ask
remember
Vice
it
President
because if you
Biden
look
a
at what's
question.
happening with the voting right now,
Let me ask
they
Vice
remember
President
that you
Biden
treated them
about
very, very badly. Just take a look at what's happening out there.
Vice President.
one of the things is that in the 80s, we passed 100%, all 100 senators voted for it, a bill on drugs and how to deal with drugs. It was a mistake. I've been trying to change the since then, particularly the portion on cocaine. That's why I've been arguing that, in fact, we should not send anyone to jail for a pure drug offense. They should be going into treatment across the board. That's what we should be spending money on. That's why I set up drug courts, which were never funded by our Republican friends. They should not be going to jail for a drug or an alcohol problem. They should be going into treatment. That's what we've been trying to do. That's what I'm going to get done because I think maybe the American people have now seen that, in fact, it was a mistake to pass those laws relating to the drug. But they were not in the crime bill.
But why didn't he get it done? See, it's all talk, no action with these politicians. Why didn't he get it done? That's what I'm going to do when I become president. You were vice president along with Obama as your president, your leader, for 8 years. Why didn't you get it done? You had 8 years to get it done. Now you're saying you're going to get it done because you're all talk and no action, Jim.
We got a lot of it done. We released 38,000. We got 38,000 prisoners left from the.
You got nothing done.
38,000 prisoners were released from federal prison. There were over 1,000 people who were given clemency. In fact, we're the ones that put in the legislation saying we could look at pattern and practice of police departments and what they were doing, how they were conducting themselves. I could go on, but we began the process. We lost an election. That's why I'm running to win back that election and change his terrible policy.
I just asked one question. Why didn't you do it in the 8 years, a short time ago? Why didn't you do it? You just said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. You put tens of thousands of mostly black young men in prison. Now you're saying you're going to undo that. Why didn't you get it done? You had 8 years with Obama. You know why, Joe? Because you're all talk and no action.
All right, Vice President Biden, and then we're going to move on to the next section.
We had a Republican Congress. That's the answer.
Joe Biden tapped out. 1, 2, 3, tapped out, guys. You can tell he ran out of gas. He didn't have any answers. He had no answers at all. And I think that this was probably the best exchange I've seen President Trump have in a debate. It really was. I mean, he bought the fire, man, like when it came to this segment, because he started off, basically saying, listen, I'm the least racist person in this room. And, you know, it's unfair for them to keep accusing President Trump of being racist with no real evidence that the man is racist. Now, Joe Biden responds with the Abraham Lincoln comment. Basically what Joe was doing was that I don't think he was going insane. I don't. I think that what was happening was that he thought that President Trump had said what President Trump always says, which is I've done the most for the black community since Abraham Lincoln. And I think he thought that he was being like funny or slick when he called President Trump Abraham Lincoln, kind of in jest. It's like some type of sarcasm, and called him the most racist president ever, which again, he has absolutely zero facts to back that up. And in fact, Joe Biden, again, objectively speaking, has a way more racist record as a senator and as a politician than President Trump has ever had in his life, period. So I don't understand why Joe Biden keeps trying to pick this fight in terms of President Trump being some type of racist, because Joe Biden has the most racist record, guys. I mean, Kamala Harris accused him of opposing busing in a Democratic debate. She accused him of supporting segregationist policies as well. Not only that, Joe Biden, as you heard him, talked about his drug bill in the 80s and the crime bill in the 90s. And people always get on him for the crime bill, but people forget to leave out the drug bill. Guys, this is what Joe Biden said in 1989 in regards to President H.W. Bush wanting to escalate the war on drugs. Joe Biden actually did not criticize the plan because it was doing too much. He criticized it because it wasn't doing enough. He said, quote, "Quite frankly, the president's plan is not tough enough, bold enough, or imaginative enough to meet the crisis at hand." He not only called for harsher punishments for drug dealers, but to hold every drug user accountable. He said that Bush's plan did not include enough police officers to catch the violent thugs, not enough prosecutors to convict them, not enough judges to sentence them, and not enough prison cells to put them away for a long time. So this essentially is a direct call for more incarceration by Joe Biden back in the 80s. Again, that's what Joe Biden said, guys. That's what he said. So to me, it's just interesting to see Biden try to fight this war that he can't win, right? It's the same thing with President Trump and Corona, right? Like President Trump can't win the war on Corona. He just can't, because he's the sitting president, and people are going to look at that 200,000 deaths and their minds are going to go numb, right? They're not going to consider the nuance of the coronavirus argument, and it's just going to be a lost cause for President Trump at this point. That's just honestly what it is at this point. You're not going to convince the public any other way. The media's in on it. Everybody's in on it. It is what it is. The thing is that criminal justice, Biden can't win on criminal justice. He just can't. And you can see that kind of happen here. So Joe Biden continues his little rant talking about the poor boys, which he meant the Proud Boys. And you could tell he was just losing it. He was just losing on this subject. He was sweating bullets. And President Trump was like, listen, you locked up thousands of black men with your crime bill. The things that you did, the legislation that you passed, this is what you did. And now you want us to believe that you can fix everything when you was in office with Obama for 8 years and you didn't do nothing. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. And this was a very, very, very convincing point, because he's absolutely correct on that. If you are so pro criminal justice reform, why didn't you pass the First Step Act back when you had 8 years to do it? And you can see as Joe Biden gave up, he was just kind of like, well, I had a Republican Congress. And it's like, bro, you had a supermajority the first 2 years that Obama was in office. So, you know, if you really, really, really wanted to get it done, you could have got it done the first 2 years. That's what you could have got done if you really wanted to. Again, like President Trump said, if you've been working on it, why don't you pass it? Because it is bipartisan legislation. The Democrats and the Republicans wanted to pass that. So, I mean, President Trump is the president. It was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna sign this in law, and we're gonna move forward with this. He pushed it forward. Remember, President Trump also worked with Kanye and Kim K to help pardon other nonviolent drug offenders and things of that nature. President Trump has also offered to have all these celebrities that come in that's supposed to be so pro-black and fighting for criminal justice reform and all this other stuff. He's offered. If any of you guys want to come in and sit down and tell me who I should pardon and make a case for pardoning them, we can do it. We can make it happen. President Trump has offered to numerous people, including LeBron James and all these other people, to go out here and talk all this trash, to come in and sit down and let's talk about it. Let's talk about the issues. But none of them ever want to sit down and have a conversation with President Trump. But somehow, some reason, he gets this label as being some type of flaming racist when the man's record on criminal justice reform is an A+. It's an A+. He's passed the most substantial criminal justice reform we've seen in 20 years, guys. We haven't seen anything like it. But for whatever reason, this man gets no credit for it, and he's been flamed as some type of racist. And then Biden says, well, you know, we released 38,000 prisoners under our administration. That's also a lie. Listen to this, guys. It's called facts, okay? Liberals don't know much about it, but according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons data, there were about 9,500 fewer federal inmates in 2016, Obama's final year in office, than there were in 2008, the year before Obama took office. Here's another fact. The number of inmates has continued to decline under President Donald Trump. As of February 27th, 2020, there were 175,135 federal inmates, a little over 17,000 fewer than in Obama's last year in office, and down 44,163 inmates, or 20% from the high in 2013 under the Obama administration, guys. This is the person, President Trump, that under his administration, 17,000 fewer people are incarcerated than the last year in Obama's administration. Come on now. Flaming racist. Flaming racist, guys. That's what the media says. But this is why you have me, to give you the facts. Facts that they don't bring up at a debate, that they don't talk about, and they just freely try to accuse President Trump of being some type of framing racist, even though when he says, like, I've done a lot for the black community, all y'all social justice warriors talk about is prison reform and criminal justice reform. That's what President Trump is doing. He's extended funding for HBCUs. He's created opportunity zones. I really believe at this point, if President Trump gave reparations, they would just say, well, this is a handout. Because, you know, all the reparations folks swear up and down that reparations is not a handout. It's debt owed. If President Trump paid that debt, y'all would call it a handout at that point. He's just trying to buy the black vote. That's what y'all would say. Nothing that this man can do is ever going to be right for the black community, according to some people. And under President Trump, we've had the lowest black unemployment we've ever seen. And Biden has never created any jobs outside of the one that he's created for Hunter. That's it. Biden has not done anything for 47 years he's been in office. He has not done anything but destroy these communities. But yet, for some reason, he's never called a racist, and he's never really criticized on this stuff the same way President Trump is, even though their records are the exact opposite. It really doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, I just thought this was a great moment in the debate. I thought President Trump really pounded him, and he really, really, really hit Biden where it hurt. And he made Biden tap out. Biden tapped out. No doubt in my mind. He tapped out. He gave up. He knew he was done. And that's why he was looking at his watch during the debate so much, because he wanted to get the hell out of there. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.